guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a pretty entertaining karma story that was sent from a subscriber. This is from a guy. He is a passport bro. He sent his story about how he met his wife and their marriage a while back. He's had a very good one. He was in the Navy when he met her in the Philippines. She was raised to be traditional, good culture, good family, all that, good values. Had a good marriage. But anyhow, his wife knows a lot of gals in the Filipino community where he lives, and a gal in their social circle, well, karma definitely comes back to bite her because she most certainly was not so full of tradition and good values and conservative all that. You're going to see in this story that he shares about how she abandoned and divorced her husband shortly after he got into a bad car accident, but certainly made sure to clean him out of the money he made from the accident. But now karma's coming back to bite her in the butt because when she was younger, over in the Philippines, she did some things that got posted on the internet that certainly, again, was not of reflecting traditional values, if you catch my drift. And now it has completely gotten out. It made her look like a fool publicly, and it's definitely a big mess. And that'll be an entertaining one to go over here, guys, for those that like a good karma story, and to make the point that, anything you put on the internet is there forever. Even if it's just one picture, or God forbid one video, and you're exposing your parts, be aware of that. And also, gentlemen, for all that is sacred and holy, do your homework on who you marry. You got to do it nowadays. A PI investigation should be mandatory at this point, seriously, because you just never know who you're marrying and getting involved with. So, it starts off, says here, hello SSM. This is your favorite passport bro. Again, you can call me Mike. I've written to you a few times, and it's been a while. I'm still enjoying your channels, which shows so many shit shows of terrible partners, screwing up their spouses, and ruining their own lives, and the lives of their families. And I must say, it's like a car accident in slow motion sometimes. Dude, I know. I've been doing this for 5 years. Not that I'm complaining, it is entertaining. If you can recall, I actually found a good one, and we've been going strong together. And God willing, we'll continue to do so. The story I'm about to share is true. I never send in BS. Okay, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, his marriage is going strong, guys, because A, she comes from a family that really prioritized conservative values, and that's great. But also, this guy doesn't put up with any crap, and that's key. You got to have both. He's learned through life experience and these stories about how to handle her, and it seems like probably at times that she could probably test his will. While being married for the amount of time that we have been, introduced me to many people and couples over the years, most of which are good people, and sometimes you see some that you can see the red flags flying straight away. While others hide it well, but when the negative comes out, we sit back and watch things happen in real time, and I point out the bad behavior, and we watch the consequences unfold together. This is one of those stories. Yeah, man, you listen to these stories long enough, you live long enough, you're going to be able to look at people in your lives and predict the outcome. That shows you've learned some things, man. I will try to be objective in telling this story, but there is not much I can do to hide what is about to unfold. But because I was just an observer of the crap show, I will give it to you from my perspective. Before I get into this woman's story, I found a rather horrifying statistic you might all find very interesting. Apparently, it is estimated that about 10% of American women between ages of 18 through 24 are creators on OnlyFans. 10%, huh? I mean, every girl walking around between 18 and 24, 1 in 10, has put up pictures of her parts. Picture, video, and all that. I'd be doing a lot of double and triple checking on that statistic, but that's pretty freaking high regardless. This translates to approximately 1.2 million women in that age group actively creating content on the platform. He says, way to go, America. Yeah, way to go, way to go to their parents. This means approximately 1 in 10 women, age 18 to 24, has created online content with OnlyFans. When I heard this being stated, I had to look it up myself, and I guess it is true. Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0, as you say. I want to put this in my email, not only to bring up the point of the story home, but to help educate the guys out there to really do your research. Yes. And, okay, let's just say that's true. 1 in 10 young women, 18 to 24, are putting their parts up on OnlyFans. Well, let's also add in how many that aren't OnlyFans, but are really displaying a lot on Instagram or TikTok. That I'm sure goes up to probably 30%. He says, maybe you need to consider getting a passport as well, which that even has its problems. But I'll tell you from experience, if you're smart, not as bad in dating here as the States are. I may have to create a separate email of the do's and don'ts of being a passport bro. Comment if you want me to do so. Yeah, man. I'll use it. If you guys want him to create a list of the do's and do nots of being a passport bro because he's been successful in this, let him know in the comment section. If enough of you guys say that, I'm sure he'll do it. Anyway, my wife's friend group has mostly married people or people who are in long-term relationships. Good. I'm glad she's hanging out with people like that, not single people. From time to time, there is a breakup or divorce, and they try to support their newly single friends and try to help them in any way they can. There are a few in the group who like to live their lives like they are 20-something singles, even though they are far past their 20s. But they usually end up hanging out together and form their own subgroup. My wife is cordial with them, but never hangs out with them. Ding, ding, ding. Good. I want to hear that. Your wife should be hanging out with other married women who behave like married women, not like they're trying to be 22 years old again. Besides, I wouldn't allow her to anyway. And she doesn't like to spend any time with them. It's not her thing. Well, good for you for not allowing that. And two, I'm glad she doesn't like it. Well, a few years ago, there was this lady who showed up at one of our parties who I didn't know. But most of the group had met her before. I will call her Lucy. She was married for some time and had a couple of kids. She dressed well, and I think her husband had a decent amount of money. So she seemed like she was in a good place. I usually don't interact with everybody, so I barely even noticed her. Most of these parties are get-togethers for birthdays and other special events. Sometimes we host them, but most of the time it's at other people's homes. The people of my wife's nationality are known for throwing great get-togethers, lots of food, karaoke, and overall good times. Yeah, there's definitely a stereotype about the Filipinas and karaoke. Any Filipinas out there, you know I'm talking about here. Lucy has shown up at a few of the parties, and by then I had said hello a couple times, but never really paid much attention. Well, good, man, because you shouldn't give her attention for lots of reasons. Well, then one day my wife asked me if I remembered her. It took me a while to bring her up in my mind, but after being shown a couple pictures, I remembered and I asked her why. My wife told me that when she was back in their home country several years ago, she starred in an adult film, and screenshots were being shared amongst the friend group in a group chat. Here we go. So, even though your wife is conservative and traditional and all that, she's still a woman. And am I at all surprised that the group chat is like, uh-oh, Lucy was in an adult film? Even probably snapshots of that. Men are men, women are women, the same around the world. Well, now the rumor mill is up and running, and she was showing me the screenshots. It was definitely her. After finding, reading the name on the bottom corner of the photo, there's a label showing the website. I asked to see if I could actually find the video and see if there was more. Of course, you had to go look for research purposes only, right? For science. I'm not sure why they all were that curious to dig that deep into her past, but if I had to do some digging for a good friend, I know ways to do it. Come on here. Women are women around the world. If they find out that some gal they're acquainted with did spicy content, you bet your butt they're all going to be looking that up. Come on here. The website had been around for a long time and usually features these guys in the foreign country who pick up local girls, ask them to come back to the hotel, and after a monetary exchange off camera, they film the deed. Sounds about right. After some digging, I found the website her video was on and found it no longer featured her content. However, pictures are still up and all over if you know the keywords to look for. My brother, you sound like you're pretty good at finding this type of stuff. Ha ha ha. A little hint here, she went by a very interesting name. It's a favorite local dish made famous in the Midwest. Since her video was no longer featured on the website, I had to assume one of two things. It was old enough that it actually fell off the platform, or two, she contacted the company and had them remove it. After all, she later on became a wife and mother, so I totally understand her not wanting this out there. To this day, I have no clue how this information got out and who shared it with the group. Maybe she told someone in confidence and later on they stabbed her in the back. No idea. But after enough digging, I found the video in its entirety. This video, I assume, was from the early 2000s, maybe 2005 through 2010. See, guys, once it's up on the internet, it's there forever. Somebody's going to find you. And with AI taking over everything, it's going to make it that much easier to dig up shit on people. Well, as you can well imagine, adult content gets downloaded, shared, and re-uploaded and is all over the web. I was able to find one of those uploads. I got my hands on it, and we were both able to view it. Yeah, you and your wife are sitting back. You're like, I hope the kids are asleep. Go back to the bedroom, put on the laptop, and there you are having your popcorn, watching Lucy get down. Afterwards, I kept it hidden, and we did not share it with anybody at all. It was pretty standard, nothing crazy. She's at a hotel pool. The guys come up to her and talk to her. She goes to the hotel room, and the action takes place. One guy holds the camera, and the other enjoys her. Well, that's a shit deal for the guy with the fucking camera, unless he's hung like a 2-year-old. Unless they switch around this deal. As far as I know, that is the only video that she did. And it came with a photo shoot as well. The website always does both video and a photo shoot of the encounter. Well, SSM, here comes the backlash. Since I was not involved in the group chats, I don't know exactly when Lucy was confronted with her past. But I know she lost it. Tough shit, Lucy. You put it up there for the world to see. And given what I know Lucy has done with her husband, too freaking bad. From what I heard, she only did it once, and it was because she was desperate for money. Coming from her background, most people are quite poor, and it was a few thousand US dollars, which is a huge sum for someone in her situation. I'm not justifying what she did. I'm just saying I'm trying to understand why she did it. Now, the past is catching up with her, and she doesn't like it a bit. The past is going to come up with you guys, catch up with you. And all these gals, 18 to 24, 10% of them, they're doing their crap on OnlyFans. Oh my God. I'm telling you now, guys, I've been saying it for a while. In 5 to 10 years, when these same gals are ready to settle down, and it's a lot easier to find stuff, all of a sudden, guys aren't going to want to marry them. Between guys finding this stuff and more guys being aware to have some self-respect, and those same girls will be doing different videos, them crying and whining that no man will want to marry them. Anyhow, Lucy even tried filing a frivolous lawsuit against the 3 women who were most responsible for sharing with everyone. The suit was claiming defamation against her now former friends. These ladies came to my house and showed us that they had been served. I just sat back and laughed. Since no one else had actually seen the video, there was likely a lot of hens clucking away, causing everyone to hear what had happened, and a lot of speculation that she maybe have had a major adult film star or something like that. While the women at my house were so upset, and after enjoying watching them freak out a bit, I did my best to calm them down. There was no way in hell any judge is going to allow this to enter a court of law, and anyone being forced to pay restitution for defamation damages. Well, I'm guessing, were they... I don't know the full circumstances of the situation, but they obviously didn't have a video, and she put it up there, First of all, I told them in order for there to be the element of defamation, you first have to be famous on some level. Lucy is not. She is a nobody housewife. So I did my best to explain that there is nothing to worry about. I ended up being right. She seemed to have access to enough money to hire a lawyer, her husband's money, but the claim was denied. So nobody went to court. I think it was her desperate attempt to get everyone to stop calling her a WHORE. Ouch. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Coming from her background and not knowing her future, I understand her desperation. But you can't allow yourself to be exposed like that and expect it never to come back to you. Well, a lot of people think they're never going to get caught. Think about all the boneheaded or criminal stuff people do and think they're not going to get caught. The odds, as time goes on with the advance of technology, you're going to get caught. After I decided to write this email, I wanted to see if there was any last-minute updates or confusion I may have had to be cleared up. My wife explained that Lucy's husband was not rich when they met. He was a pretty average guy. But some years ago, he was involved in a horrible vehicle accident which left him seriously disabled. The at-fault party was a company driver, and that company is forced to settle for a serious amount of money. So that is how they end up pretty well off. But as you can imagine, some people are prone to make poor decisions. Well, I'm really sorry for her husband. That's terrible. Well, Lucy apparently got fed up with taking care of her disabled husband and filed for divorce a few years ago. What a freaking snake. So much for her in sickness and in health. Yes, it is definitely a challenge and stressful to take care of a loved one who's sick or disabled. I'm sure a lot of people that have had that in their families know that. But it doesn't mean you give up on them. My mom took care of my dad to the day he died, and he had developed dementia in the end and had all sorts of things he couldn't do. It was tough on her. It really was. But she didn't give up on him, you know? Well, the rumor mill was that her husband was either no longer able to perform in the bedroom or was extremely difficult. So she went out in the dating market again, and like most women who are single moms and divorced, they were going from partner to partner, working mediocre jobs, and struggling to make ends meet. Hey, I don't feel bad for her, especially since she ditched the guy, the poor guy. You think he would have ditched her if she became disabled? No. And I definitely don't feel bad for her now, with the video popping up. I think she helped spend most of the money that he received in the settlement, so there wasn't much left over for her when it was time for the divorce. She could not get much out of him. She had to become a strong, independent woman, just looking for a real man to step up and take care of her and her kids. Oh, for goodness sake. I hope there are enough people listening to this tale and learning the lessons of it. So many people end up suffering because of her bad decisions. Her children suffer from a broken home. Her ex-husband suffered terribly. Now he's alone and likely away from his kids with a broken heart. And I have no idea who is taking care of him now. Right, this poor guy. But you know what? Tough crap on her. I'm glad karma came and her video got out there. And Lucy took the fast money route and eventually came back to haunt her in the end. Just think of all the consequences that took place once she decided to spread herself online for a quick buck. Well, too bad for her. This is way before OnlyFans, and I think she's getting off light because of that. Imagine you getting married to some beautiful young lady. She's everything you ever dreamed about and more, and she makes good money, she's a wonderful partner, becomes a fantastic mother, and gives you what you need in the bedroom. Years go by, and you thank God every day that you're blessed with this perfect partner. And then one day your friend calls you up and tells you to come to his house. He has something important to tell you about. You rush over and find your friend and several others in his living room like there's about to be an intervention. Then they tell you to sit down and be present. Your beautiful and perfect wife was being done by some guy or multiple guys and exposed in every possible way. Well, I've had a lot of stories that go like that. That's a bad situation. Everybody there has seen what you're supposed to only be seeing yourself, and there are a ton of things you never want her ever to do. The shame and disbelief that you must be going through. Your friends try to comfort you, but there's nothing they can do to make you feel any better. No. Now you have to confront her, and once you do, she cries and cries and tries to explain. But what can she say to make you understand and forgive her? She may even try to explain that she did it a while back to pay for school. She shut down the site and used that money to get her degree and moved that career to making great money. Maybe this is how you two met. What I'm getting at is that women, you need to think about what those choices can lead to and how devastating it will be when your future husband, or worse, your kids, are shown what mommy did with those strange men. He says, guys, you really have to do your research and find out everything there is to know about women and her family as well. He says, SSM, I'll be back in the future. I'm sure of it with more stories. By the way, I will share with you a couple of Lucy's pictures for her sexcapades so you know what I'm saying is not BS. Every story I've written was true and to the best of my knowledge. Until next time, Mike. Well, bro, good story. And yes, gentlemen, he attached the pictures. And I gotta say, she's a damn good looking girl back when those things were done. And no, I can't share them with you. Don't even ask me. Even if you privately email me, and some of you have, I'm not going to share. This goes to show you everything's confidential that you send in with me. But anyhow, there you go. The past will always come back to bite you in the butt. And if you put on the internet, pretty much, that's it. It will always come back. And I say, good. She got what she deserved. That's what she gets for leaving her freaking husband. Was it hard going through taking care of somebody that's disabled? Sure. But you don't do that to them. He wouldn't do that to her. So I say the hell with her. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know in the comment section if you'd like Mike here to do the do's and do nots list about the passport bros and all that. I'm sure somebody will appreciate that. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.